Kevin Bradley, the Executive Director of Genesis Club in Worcester, Massachusetts.
And tell me about Genesis Club.
Genesis Club is part of what we call an international human rights movement that is called Clubhouse. There are 400 programs like Genesis Club around the world. There's one right here in Falmouth called Fairwinds that we connect with very much. In our state of Massachusetts, we have 33 Clubhouse programs that are helping people that struggle with a mental illness. What Clubhouses do, first and foremost, is help people return to the community out of psychiatric hospitals. A major part of Clubhouses is employment, education, housing, and some new programs have just started with wellness on young adults to help individuals with mental illness kind of move forward with their lives. So at Genesis Club, we're a fairly large clubhouse. We serve 700 members a year. We have 350 members that come in a month and about 100 members that come in a day. We're very proud of our employment numbers. Last year we had 158 members return to competitive employment, and they earned over $1.1 million in earnings. We have a very strong education program. We have over 40 of our young adults and members that are connected with going back to school, whether it's post-secondary or GEDs. Quinsigamon Community College has been fabulous in helping our members return to school and move on with their lives. So that's some of the things we do. Genesis also has a housing component. We house 46 individuals. 20 of those individuals are people that struggle with homelessness in the city of Worcester. So we have a homeless housing program. But mostly what we do is we have a partnership model of members and staff working together. The members and staff, when they start to work together, we see extraordinary things happen. We see people regain their confidence. We see members who have lost hope and dignity regain that hope and dignity. And we see those members say, maybe, just maybe, I could try again. And if I try again in employment or housing or employment, maybe I can live in the community, be a good neighbor, be an excellent worker, and make some friends. Overall, Clubhouses are about a community that comes together, and the community is really what the treatment is. Clubhouses over the years have been a non-traditional mental health program. We have no psychiatrists, no therapists, no medication in Clubhouses, but what we have is that community that moves Clubhouses together. There's an international organization called the International Center for Clubhouse Development that's centered in New York City, and they oversee the advocacy, research, and development of Clubhouses on a worldwide basis.
Very good. And how did you get involved in the Falmouth Road Race?
Falmouth Road Race, long story. So 5 years ago, Genesis was taking a look at our wellness initiative, where we had many members that were struggling with their illness, who were overweight, who had diabetes. We had a rash of members that had passed away. So we said, geez, maybe, just maybe, we should be thinking of doing something about this issue. The research tells us now that if you struggle with a mental illness, you have a 25-year earlier mortality rate. So we said, geez, let's see if we can do something about it. So this was about 10 years ago. We started a structured exercise program with Assumption College in Worcester and the University of Massachusetts Medical School. And so we started to do the exercise, and as we were doing the exercise, we found that many of our members were runners in high school or college. So they said, geez, could we do something with a running team? So we started to go into area races. And then a lot of people said, geez, let's see if we could do something with the Falmouth Road Race. Actually, my daughter, who was a Northeastern grad, ran for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in the Falmouth Road Race. And she said, Dad, why don't you see if you could get Genesis Club to be a non-profit that runs in the Falmouth Road Race. So when I called, the director at that time, a fellow named Rich Sherman, who is the founding director of the road race, said, geez, we don't have any more room for nonprofits. This is an extraordinary race. We have 10,000 people in the race, and we just can't take any more nonprofits. So I said, okay. He said, what got you interested in this running and exercise for people with mental illness? So I said, I went to a college that exercise was very important. We talked a lot about spirit, mind, and body. He said, did you go to Springfield College? I said, yes, I did. He said, I'll call you back tomorrow. Call me back tomorrow. We were in the race, I think, is one of the last nonprofits let in the Falmouth Road Race. Now, Fairwinds has just come in the last couple of years, so they've opened it up again. So 5 years ago, we had 10 runners. 5 of those runners were people that were struggling with mental illness. This year, we have over 30 runners. We still have 5 members that are struggling with mental illness that train and run the Falmouth Road Race. It's become a bit of a fundraiser for us. The first year, we raised $7,500. This year, we're going to raise over $35,000 with runners going out raising money for a good cause. Kind of interesting too, not only do we have people with mental illness running on our team, we have 3 elite runners that are running with the elite runners of the world. We have 2 young runners, one from Middlebury College and one from Bates College, that last year ran in the top 200. So this year they get a number that puts them with running with the Kenyans and all the elite runners of the world. So we're kind of proud of that. So it's just kind of a fun thing to do. It's a hard race. I've run it for 7 years myself. So my daughter keeps telling me it's the last year I'm going to run it. So I keep telling her, oh, I don't think so. I think I can keep doing this. But it's the major thing we're doing with the race is trying to reduce the stigma of mental illness. And there's a saying that we have now. It's we want to bring mental illness out of the darkness. And with our Team Genesis, with our logos on our shirts, it says making strides for mental illness. People stop and say, geez, what's that about? And as soon as we say that we're working with people with mental illness and we're running to reduce the stigma and to bring mental illness out of the darkness, you know what they tell us? They say, I have a brother, I have a sister, I have a family member, I have a coworker, I have a neighbor. The national research in the U.S. says 1 out of 4 individuals struggle with a mental illness. So if you look at the research, which is kind of there, and then you look at the Falmouth Road Race, we're out there. It's kind of neat that we're running and raising money, but the major thing we're doing is trying to break down the stigma of mental illness. But I continue to do it. My goal every year is to run a little faster and raise a little more money. So I've been doing that every year. So we have some elite runners. I'm not the elite runner. I'm the jogger in the back of the pack. So
somebody has to be there.
Right. That's about 6,000 or 7,000 of the runners are really joggers, and that's the neat thing about Falmouth. There's elite runners of the world and the recreational runners together. So we really compliment Falmouth for putting this race together. So how do we get connected with Gail, who has offered this dinner, and through her sister-in-law has offered this beautiful house to us? It also was about 5 years ago in our first race in Falmouth. Myself and a member, Ed Sanborn, were making a major presentation at the Boston University Medical School on our wellness initiative, and people were very excited about the exercise, nutrition, and the tobacco cessation that we were doing. And after the presentation, a lot of people came up and asked questions and talked with us. And this woman, Gail, came up and said, you know what, Kevin, I'm from Falmouth, and I may have a house for your team if you'd like that. And so I thought she was a nice person, making a nice offer. And we didn't hear from her for a month or 2 months, but 2 months before the race in June of that year, she called me and said, we got the house, what would you like to do? And also, we'll put a dinner on for your team. So that's how it started. We've been at this beautiful house that Dan and Deb Shara own.
So you're staying here as well?
Our team stays here. Dan and Deb Shara have been so gracious and generous. They offer their house to Team Genesis runners, people that are struggling, staff that are here. We have 5 to 8 individuals that stay here every year. This is our 5th year staying here since we travel from Worcester, so we're just very thrilled with Gail's connection and Deb and Dan Shara's of offering this beautiful house to us.